Hi guys, and welcome back to DivByDiv. Today we are going to test the best features that have been introduced in Chrome 98 DevTools. So let's get started. To test these features, I created a sample website where we have two headers, one H1 and one H2, and one simple button. So the first thing that I would like to touch on is about accessibility. From Chrome 98, we will have the access to the full accessibility tree. Now, if you open the accessibility tab, you're gonna see that you have a checkbox that says enable full page accessibility tree. If you click on that, you may need to reload the DevTools. And then now if you go to the Elements tab, you're going to see an icon in the top right. And by click on that, we're going to switch to the vision of the full accessibility tree. That means that now we are seeing the document as a screen reader, let's say, where is identifying the root web area, which is basically the top of the document. And it says that it's Google Chrome DevTools updates. And if you look at this, the tab title, you see that is corresponding on the root web area label. Then we have the heading, which says Google Chrome 98, and inside has a static test. Another heading, which is an H2 in this case, and it says DevTools updates, and then one button that is focusable and as the text request. Pretty cool, huh? So you can use this new feature to see if your website is fully accessible, and is gonna help you to identify part of the code that can be more accessible than what are today, so that you can work on those. Now let's check out the next new feature. This feature is around changes. So the changes that you make on the fly through the browser to the CSS, for example. Here, if we open the button, we click on H1, we see that the color is white. And if we change this color to another color, we're gonna see that in the Changes tab, it's been highlighted the change that I made. It's pretty cool. And so if I change also the 20 rem to 30 rem as max width, or if I do font size, for example, I don't know, 3 rems, it's gonna be looking ugly, but you see that we have these two changes and one line removed. So let's refresh to go back to the normal state. But this is a very cool addition, and is similar to what you see on GitHub when you open a pull request with some code changes, where the green part are the lines that you added and the red ones are the ones that you removed. Pretty cool. So for the next property instead, we're gonna go to the properties pane, which is here, and this was visible even before the Chrome 98 update, but in Chrome 98 they added the support for showing the properties that are null and undefined. And on top of this, you have also a filter that makes very easy to look for property and filter them out. So good job, Chrome. Another exciting feature that have been added is about Flexbox. Do you know that if we select an element, there is display flex? In this scenario, I made the display flex the body, and we are going to the styling of it. You're gonna see that next to the display flex, you're gonna have an editor that helps you out on basically set up the direction, the flex wrap, align content, justify content, etc. And from here, the things that have been added from last release are the two options to support the flex direction, row reverse and column reverse. So if you look in this scenario, if I do column reverse, those two elements are flipped. If I go normal column as is default, they're gonna be back on where they were. Then if we do direction row, we see that we have the Google Chrome 98 and DevTools update 1 next to each other, because the Google Chrome 98 is before the DevTools update. But also we can do the reverse and have the DevTools updates before the Google Chrome. This feature is already cool since they started to introduce it, because it makes very easy for who starts to work on Flexbox and Grid to basically understand the concept and the differentiation between align center and justify content that can be confusing for someone that is just getting started with those. Now I want to show you another couple of features. One is in relation to a media feature that is called force color, and basically is used when someone has some vision problems and he wants to have more contrast in the website and limit the color palette to a certain number of colors that are high contrast one with each other. So if you want to improve the accessibility on your website, you can support this media query rule, and now in Chrome 98 you can also emulate it from your DevTools. And to do this, we go into Rendering tab. Oh, by the way, just a quick tip, if you don't have the Changes tab and the Rendering tab, you can just do a Command-Shift-P on Mac, and probably it's going to be Control-Shift-P on Windows. And then you just look for Render, and it's going to show you the option to show rendering. And then the same for the Change or any other tab that you want to show in the DevTools. So this is a small tip that you can use wherever you want. Now let's go back to the Rendering tab and let's scroll down until we see the Emulate CSS Media Feature Force Color. So from here there is a drop down and you can choose between Force Color Active or None. If you choose Force Color Active, the background of the body became 333, which is a very dark color, and that's because I want to increase the contrast between the text and the background. In this way, who has vision problems and he selects this kind of mode can easily navigate the website and read the text. This happens not magically, but because I created in the CSS a media query that support this. So I'm gonna go to sources. I'm gonna show you that the app CSS supports the media query force color, and here I'm setting up the background to be 333. Alright, so I want to show you just one more thing that is very exciting, and is a shortcut to replay the XHR requests. So if we go to the network and we close the console and I click the request, you see that here we made an XHR call, which is a XML HTTP request. And so with this one, in the previous version of Chrome, you needed to do a double tap here and then click on replay XHR. But now you just need to select the request and click R in your keyboard. And you see that more you click R, more the request get repeated. This is gonna be very handy on your debugging process. Alright, that was it for today. I hope that you learn some exciting things from this video and that you're ready to use these new features in DevTools in the Chrome 98 version. By the way, in this video and probably in the following ones when I'm going to check out the new features, I'm going to use the Chrome Canary browser, because there I have like a version that is like now is 100 in the moment that I'm recording this video, but the Chrome 98 is just arrived in the scene. And if you are a developer and you want to test out the new features that are coming up in Chrome, I think that you should download the Chrome Canary browser and have fun with testing out all the new features that are coming up, enable feature flags and things like this to play around and discover what's gonna be next. As usual, happy coding, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!